first, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
It is indeed Fox 12 Now, and I'm Greg Nibbler, and thanks for joining us live here every weekday starting at 1 o'clock going throughout the afternoon. And right now, we are going to be talking about something that you may get to experience, if everything works out right, possibly on Thursday evening. And that is the combination of not only a sturgeon moon, we'll explain what that is. Oh, I won't, but our guests will. And then also a partial lunar eclipse, all kind of coming together. So it could be a pretty amazing moment in the skies. Let's talk about that right now with Jim Todd from OMSI joining us to always explain how this all works to us, which is fantastic. And Jim, I think I want to start off by asking you this because the name alone is interesting. What is a sturgeon moon?
Well, every full moon has a name, and they call it sturgeon moon because this is the time that they, Native Americans, if you will, according to the Farmer's Almanac, that they go out and catch the sturgeon for the time of year and the month of August. So somehow that name has come up. It's called the sturgeon moon, and so that's the name of the moon for the month of August.
Gotcha. Okay, so it doesn't have to do with anything as far as the coloring or something specific. It's just that's what an August moon is a sturgeon moon.
Yeah, an August moon. It's named other things too, the hot August night moon and what have you. But the sturgeon moon is the most popular for August, regardless.
Okay, and so that's for the full moon, but we have this full moon also combining with a lunar eclipse, right?
Yep, exactly. So we have an opportunity now. This has been really an amazing lunar cycle. Keep in mind that we started out with the full moon in July, and then we have the new moon on August 12th, which was a total solar eclipse that was visible over much of Greenland, down to Iceland, to Spain. And so 15 days later, now we get our show. We're going to have the full moon. And what's happening is that during the full moon, only during the full moon, that we can have what's called a lunar eclipse. As you see in that diagram right there, that we're moving into the Earth shadow. So half the world at that moment is going to be able to enjoy what's called a lunar eclipse. And so it will be rising already in the event. But then if you really have to have a good southeast view of horizon, just like that, and you'll see that the moon is already starting into the eclipse. And the moon is seen to have that reddish color associated with the full lunar eclipse. And it's red because the atmosphere of the Earth's atmosphere is scattering and we're being refracted. Only red is remain on the surface of the moon. And the peak will be at 9:12 p.m., just as you're seeing it there. And that means that it will only be 12 degrees above the southeast horizon. Okay? And then we'll be all over roughly around 11 o'clock and midnight when it's completely out of the Earth's shadow. So this is really a fun event to have for the month of August, for our full moon in August. And then we'll encourage people to get out. It's totally safe to look at. You don't need any special equipment. Binoculars would really help. And then you get to get that kind of orangey color. Now, because we're having smoke in the air, it could be even redder than normal of the lunar eclipse, and with all the smoke. But as far as I can tell, the smoke is not going to really be a problem for tomorrow night. So anybody can see it throughout the state of Oregon. Get a good location. Look toward the southeast. Be ready around roughly about 8 p.m. when the moon is rising, and then enjoy the moment all the way up to midnight. So it's really a fun event.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to think about with that too, and having this opportunity. So, what would be some good tips for people when they are watching it? Should they get some binoculars? Do you need any kind of special equipment to really fully enjoy watching this?
Yeah, the binoculars would be fantastic, because it's going to be as it's rising. It's still going to be somewhat lost in the twilight, because the moon rises before the sun set. So both the full moon and the sun will be out simultaneously. But then a few minutes later, the sun will set. So there's going to be some of that lingering twilight, but if you really want to and get a better view, take a binoculars and look at the moon. Totally safe, no filter, no special equipment. And then if you have a nice one of those cameras, cell phone, and do your homework and try to get a nice picture of the moon in the lunar eclipse. And you really zoom in on it. If you do a far shot, it won't come out. But if you can really zoom in on the moon, you can get a nice shot of a lunar eclipse.
And will this be something that's pretty visible no matter where you are, or do you need to get somewhere high, depending on how far, how far up this is in the sky?
It's going to be about 12 degrees at peak, right? So that's not very high. That's about roughly, if you put your fist up, this is the horizon, and that would be at the top of the moon. So it's going to be fairly low. And that's why it's very challenging sometimes, even though I said 912, you look over there and say, wow, it's really low. And it is. And that's the part of the challenge. So unfortunately, we seem to be always in a worse time zone when we have these big events that we have the little challenges that is too low or below the horizon. This one is going to be just about right for us to enjoy the partial lunar eclipse of 96%. And that means not be a full eclipse, just barely in the umbra. And some astronomers calling this, it looked like the eclipse have a white hat. Okay? So you could see a very slimmer white at the top of the moon.
So like the moon is wearing a white hat.
Yep.
I love it. Any other facts or bits of trivia that you think would be great for people to know when they're out watching this that you can share with people?
Here's the fun thing is that we're still in this wonderful lunar cycle. So we have the next new moon coming up in September. And then we have the next full moon is going to be the harvest moon. And so that's going to be the next phase. But this is just all part of this wonderful summer lunar cycle to enjoy. Keep that in mind. But after tomorrow night, we will not get a lunar eclipse, a deep lunar eclipse, until sometime in 2029. There is a New Year's Eve eclipse on the 28th, but unfortunately, Oregon is not going to be in the right spot to be able to enjoy that. But enjoy the eclipse when it can, and you can really share it with your friends and family. Totally safe.
All right, fantastic. Well, yeah, good opportunity then for everybody to get out and to be able to see this, and not too late either. Be able to see it earlier in the evening as it is getting darker, but 9 o'clock, 9 to midnight, I think is what you said, or 9 to 11 is when
it's about midnight. There it is, somewhat school night for some kids, but go out and enjoy the full moon. This is really a good way to celebrate the end of August. It's coming up in September next week. Before you know it, it's definitely a sign of fall. It's starting to come around the corner.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that, so I'm going to enjoy the summer while we can. I'm going to get out for this. All right, okay. Jim, thanks as always. Really appreciate you being on here.
Okay, thank you, Greg.
And for everybody watching, this is Fox 12 Now. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back, and not quite that quick, but we'll take a quick break here in just a second, and we'll actually be talking about the Oregon State Fair, because it is fair time as well, and so we'll get you a preview of that, about what's coming up, and a lot more here. If breaking news happens, we'll have that for you as well, but we'll go all the way until our 4 p.m. news. So we'll take this break, then back with more Fox 12 Now. All right, thanks, Jim.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Take care.
You too.